Hey pups, RB here, and welcome back to another art challenge video. And today, I decided to do an art challenge of Sailor Moon characters as Pokemon. After the last pup reviews, when I reviewed the Sailor Moon anime, I got heavily inspired to make the characters into Pokemon, and I had to look up a bunch of other images to help get some ideas. And most of them may or may not be evolutions, and I tried really hard to steer clear from that. But how could I not draw some of these characters as evolutions? It was hard not to do, so I decided to go for that idea. And I like how it turned out. The first character we have is Sailor Moon herself, Usagi or Serena, based on which dub or sub of the anime you watch or love. And I decided to make her Sylveon because of her transformation scene. And even though I wanted to make her either an Eevee or a bunny Pokemon, I decided to go with Sylveon and thought it was super precious. Plus, when I looked up Sailor Moon Pokemon, I saw a lot of fan art of her as a Sylveon and thought it was adorable. I was originally going to draw her as a Lopunny as said earlier, but I again went with Sylveon. I did do an alt version of her as a Lopunny because the name Usagi means rabbit, and there isn't any speed drawing footage of it, so I'll put the art somewhere either on the screen or have it posted on either my Patreon or my Ko-fi if you guys want to check it out. I love both versions of this one, but I think I prefer Sylveon Sailor Moon because of how cute it looks. The next character we have is Sailor Mercury, aka Amy, or Amy with a Y. And I figured since her powers are water-based, I'd go for a water-type Pokemon, and I figured Vaporeon was a perfect fit for Sailor Mercury. And fun fact, even though her powers are also ice and snow-based, since they're centered around water, water-type Pokemon are able to learn ice-type moves such as Ice Beam, in case you guys didn't already know that. I was originally going to go with Glaceon, but since she seems more affiliated with water, I wanted her Pokemon counterpart to be mostly water-type, and since I figured most of the scouts would be evolutions, Vaporeon felt right for Mercury. Up next, we got Sailor Mars, aka or Ray. And since her powers are fire-based, and she's pretty hot-headed in both the anime and manga, what better evolution than Flareon to fit her fiery personality? I was going to choose either Ninetales or maybe even Braixen, since she works as a Miko in the anime, and felt like associating Ninetales or Braixen with the two Pokemon being both fire and psychic types, and Mikos being priest maidens for shrines, and working with things involving the paranormal like spirits and exorcisms, since Mercury does use Ofudos associating with her attacks and powers. And for those who don't know what Ofudos are, they're basically talisman papers people use in Japan to protect themselves from spirits and evil yokais, and people usually hang them around their houses and shrines. But since I decided to go with the Evolutions theme, I went with Flareon. But like I did with Sailor Moon, I did an alt version with Mercury as Ninetales. And again, I like both versions of these. And I did also look on Bulbapedia that Flareon can learn a few psychic attacks, like rest and restored power via TMs. So there's a bit of something going on there. Up next, we have Sailor Venus, aka Minako, or Mina. And this one was a bit trickier to come up with. So I was looking through some different concepts for the Sailor Scouts as Pokemon, and I found a Pokemon I thought would be a good pick for Sailor V, and decided to go with Jolteon because of her powers are more golden colored, which kind of made me think of a golden lightning and sparks and electricity, and thought it was a fine pick for Sailor V. And I was gonna go with Eevee, but I was saving it for Chibi Moon, which I can probably do a part 2 on that in the future someday. So that pretty much explains it. The final scout for now is Sailor Jupiter, aka Matako, or Lida. And since her powers aren't just superhuman strength, but also electrostatic plant manipulation, I thought the best fit for her would be Leafeon. And originally I was going to do Espeon since EPM is kind of a psychic-like attack, but then I figured since her dream is to open a cake and flower shop, and her powers are more plant related, it would make more sense to make her a Leafeon instead of Espeon if you ask me. Plus, I figured the pinkish purpley color Espeon has would sort of clash with the green Jupiter has. I know there's a shiny version of Espeon, but I don't really like it. So I thought it'd be more fitting to have Leafeon's colors combined with Jupiter's to match the color coding, and I gotta say, I'm happy with this one. And finally, we have the man of the hour, Tuxedo Mask. And since I wanted to save a bunch of evolutions for the scouts, I decided to make Tuxedo Mask a different Pokemon instead. And since one of his skills is martial arts, I wanted to make him a Pokemon related to fighting types. And looked up different Pokeships with Sylveon that wasn't evolution related, and thought Lucario X Sylveon was super adorable. So I turned Tuxedo Mask into one of my all-time favorite Pokemon and made him even more of a fangirl/fanboy magnet. You're welcome. Plus, I really found Tuxedo Mask as a Lucario extremely fitting, and I'm glad I went with that idea. Also, if anyone's going to ask if I'm going to turn Sailor Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, Luna, Artemis, and Diana along with Chibi Moon, well, sad to say, not in this video because that would have been too much for this video. So I plan on making a part 2 with the addition to Queen Beryl. And no, I won't do the other villains because that'd be too much to ask for me to do even if I wanted to. I hope you all enjoyed this art challenge, and let me know your thoughts in the comments on these scouts and Tuxedo Mask as Pokemon, and let me know if you want to see a part 2. That being said, I'll see you in the next one, pups. Cue the outro, RP is out, peace!